Keke Palmer in a slave movie? Interesting. But is it any good? Let's find out right here on InCrowd Network. What's up, guys? I am Aaron for InCrowd, and today we're going to do more of a discussion / review, and we're doing it on a film today, and that film is Keke Palmer's Alice. It is a movie that is based on a slave that runs away, escapes, and then wakes up at a different time, which is 1973. And everything you know of slavery, at least to our knowledge, there wasn't any slavery in 1973. So imagine being a slave, all of the technological advancements and all of these different things that the world has undergone. You would not have known about that because it's way before your time. So that's kind of what we're dealing with here. The movie features Keke Palmer. It also features Common and Johnny Lee Miller, I believe is his name, Johnny Lee Miller. It also features a first-time director and first-time writer, Kristen Verlinden. I'm not familiar with any of her other work because guess what? She doesn't have any other work. This is her first. This film is also executive produced by both Common and Keke Palmer. So you could see that they're carrying multiple hats here. Also, my understanding is Common was the main individual that was in charge of sound for the film. And of course, him being a musician, who better else to choose the music for this movie? And I'll tell you, he does a really good job with that. One of the things that really stood out in the movie, outside of Keke Palmer's acting, and we'll get into that shortly, was definitely the sound of the movie. In terms of the soundtrack, Common does a very good job of picking music that is directly intertwined with the period of time that you're looking at during the movie, whether it be scenes that are a little bit more calm and introspective during her time as a slave, or during the time when she's in the 1970s and we're listening to music that is associated with that time period. Very good job done by Common in regards to that. I found myself dancing a few times, just sitting on the couch watching this movie and enjoying the fact that, wow, this music, not only was it nostalgic, but the music goes along very well with those pieces, as well as the outfits, the way Common dresses, the way Keke dresses, the way all of the other characters dress during, whether it be the slave time pieces or the 1973 time pieces. It all works. It looks exactly like you would expect it to look. It looks very authentic to that period in time. So with that stuff being said, like I said, I wanted to just point out some of the positives here. Like I said, the sound, the costumes, definitely, and Keke Palmer's acting. Every role that I've seen this woman be a part of, she has done a fantastic job at it. And I think this, in my personal opinion, is probably the best I've seen her at. Now, I know that this movie is not getting the highest reviews out there, but personally, I don't know that I've seen her do a better job in a film, and she brings it all out for this film. Common has had his acting chops in the game for a while now, so I expected good acting from him, but man, it's almost difficult to believe that this guy was a rapper, or I guess to a degree he still raps, but it's insane to think that he's a rapper because he's such a good actor. Very good actor himself. So now let's just jump right back into the story of the movie here. Runaway slave wakes up miraculously in 1973, and I'm not going to give anything away, but when I first watched the trailer to this movie, I was wondering, is there going to be some sort of supernatural like warp that she goes through and lands her in the 70s, and it's a little bit more sinister than that. And when you watch the film, you'll definitely understand what is taking place here. But when she's in the 1970s pieces, she starts to just understand things that she could have not understood as a slave, starts to see things that she could not have seen as a slave. Her image changes, her how can I put this, her confidence level changes. Everything about her character develops, and she wants revenge. And that's where things kind of start to spiral out of control. There are some sequences in here that don't exactly make sense because they didn't allow this movie enough time to flesh out the story. And that's where I think it kind of falls apart. If they had taken the time to, say, turn this into a mini series, I would say maybe 4-part series, maybe an hour each episode, they might have been given the time that they need to really flesh this story out. But because of the fact that they are condensing this movie into a 1 hour, 40-minute overall, a lot of things were lost. For instance, there's a scene in which she is in a library, and in the sequence, Common is following her as she grabs various books. And that just doesn't work because you would have to suspend all logic, all common sense, in order to believe that someone that was a slave just, maybe a half of an hour ago, all of a sudden understands the Dewey Decimal System that we've had to go through in the library system. Even I, as someone who's been in multiple libraries and held multiple library cards, there's no way I would be able to navigate a library the way that she was navigating the library in that movie. She understood the bus system. She understood the public transportation system. No one understands public transportation, but somehow she was able to understand that. She understood how to use a phone. All of these different things happening in the movie really suspends belief of what is actually taking place. But those elements aside, I think that for the most part, the movie was actually enjoyable. It had great acting. It had a very nice soundtrack. I liked the costume pieces. I liked how the film was actually filmed. I liked the characters. I liked a lot of elements of this movie, and having to, I guess, suspend your belief system for what is going on after she gets into the 1973 world, it could hurt it a bit, but for the most part, I don't think that it completely decimates the movie. I think this is a really good first outing for the director, Kristen Verlinden. This is a good movie by Keke Palmer and by Common. I don't think I see any real problems here. I just wish they had given it more time for it to flesh out, and I wish they had developed maybe a series instead of a movie, rushing this along and kind of suspending logic of things that a slave should not understand that quickly. That being said, I'm going to give this movie a 6.5 out of 10. I really think that there was a lot of room for growth, but overall, I still did enjoy this movie, and I think you guys should check it out. It was enjoyable overall, great soundtrack, great acting, and it's not like your typical slave movie. That's the part that I really want to stress here. Your typical slave movies do not do this. They tried something different. The concept was a little loose, but at the same time, I'm going to give them a lot of credit for trying something different in a world where there is slave movie after slave movie or after slave movie, and typically what the viewer is brought into is a world of just abuse of black people. And while that does happen here, it does not give you the impression that these slaves are just abused and have no capability. Actually, you do realize that these are strong people, and had they been given a different chance in life, they would have had very different outcomes in their life. I like how things went in this movie. I like how the movie actually transitioned from one set piece to the other, and all in all, I think that the viewer is going to enjoy this movie. But let's not let my opinion be the only one that exists. You guys let us know in the comments below what you thought about this movie. Did you like the movie? Did you hate the movie? Did you think the suspension of logic was a little too much? Do you think the writing was loose? What do you think about the film? Please let us know. Leave your comments down, and hit us with a subscribe, as well as hitting the notification bell to be notified when we upload new content, and hit the like button if you like this video. We appreciate you guys. I'm Aaron. This is InCrowd. Peace.